Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. So in this video, we will learn about state. So to understand the state, we will create this simple UI where we have this text field and two button. Clicking on add, increase the count, and clicking on subtract, decrease the count. Okay, we will go to our demo. For now, we will comment this function and create a new function. Okay, let's say counter. Okay, so we will create these function outside activity. Okay, so we have created one compose function counter. So if you look at a UI, so first one is 0 and second we have two buttons. So these two buttons are arranged in a single row. So we will use row and 0 and these buttons are on different rows. So we will use columns for it. Okay, so first we will use column. Now in the column, first we will create a count. So let's say initial count value will be 0 and then we have row. Now in the row we have two buttons. So first button will be add and second button will be subtract. Now from the preview we will use this function. Function name is counter. So if you see here, we can see the 0 and these two buttons. Okay. Now next thing is this 0 appears at the left hand side, but we want the 0 to come at the center. So we will use arrangement. So uh, so in the columns we will have vertical arrangement and horizontal alignment. Okay. So first we will define the horizontal alignment. Okay, alignment dot center horizontally. Now you can see the 0 appears at the center. Okay. Now we want to give a equal weight to add and subtract. So now go to button and add a weight, and weight will be 1f. Similar way, we need to define a weight for this button also. Okay. Now these two buttons have equal space. Now we want to give some space at the starting and at the end. Okay. So we just update this one is equal to modifier dot weight. Then we will want to give a padding, and we want to give a padding from all the corners. So just use 5 dp, and similar way we will do the same for second button. Okay. Now we have this spacing and this button. Now next thing is we want to have a full area. So at the column level we defined a modifier here. Modifier is equal to modifier dot fill max size. Okay, so now this is covered the complete area. So now next thing is we want to keep this element at center. So for that we need to use vertical arrangement. Okay, and arrangement dot center. Okay, now you can see we are able to create this UI. So we just need to increase the text size for this button. So here we will use font size, and we will call text unit F Now this look same whatever we are creating. This one we can just run it and verify on the emulator. Okay, now we have this UI. Now when I click on these buttons, there is no change because we have not provided the body for this button click. Okay, similar way, nothing will happen here. Okay, now what we need to do, firstly we need to track like what is the current value of this text field, and on the click of add we need to increase it by 1, and in the case of subtract we need to reduce it by 1. Okay, let's say I keep a variable here where count is equal to initial count is 0, and I use the same count here. Now in the on click, we will just increase this count value by 1. So count plus plus, and in the case of subtract, we will reduce its value by 1. Count minus minus. Now see what happened when I click on these buttons, nothing got changed because this count is just a variable. So changing the variable cannot impact on a compose function. Okay, so to change the value we need to use state. Okay, so how we can create a state? So here we will use is equal to int state of, and default value will be 0. Now if you see here, we are getting an error. Okay, so we just understand what is the error. So it mentioned creating a state object during composition without using remember block. Okay, so what will happen whenever we have mentioned whenever this variable got changed, so it will do a recomposition. Okay, so whenever recomposition will happen, this variable again reset to 0. Okay, so to remember a variable within a composable function, we need to use remember keyword. Okay, so we will say by remember, and inside this remember we will define our state. Okay, so now we need to import the get set values for remember. Okay, now we have the state. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, now we just click on this add button. Now you can see the count got changed. When you click on add button, count got changed. Similar way, when we click on subtract, the count got changed. So that much for this video. So in the next video, we will learn how to save the state when we do a configuration change like device rotation or process crash or whenever activity got restored. So stay tuned for further updates.